Welcome to our latest Moneybox review. Now, this is just an overview of its main features and what makes it stand out. Now, I won't cover every single detail here. Things like specific interest rates and investment performance change far too quickly for a video like this to stay up to date. So if you want those details, I'll put a link in the notes of this video to a full review on the MainToMasses website where you can click through and see all of the details like performance and interest rates. Now, we'll give you a good sense of what Moneybox is about, especially if you're thinking about getting started with saving or perhaps dipping your toe in the world of investing for the first time. Now, I am a long-term user of Moneybox, and in particular with reference to their savings products, not investing, as I will explain. There are some better alternatives when it comes to using Moneybox for starting to invest. So what is Moneybox? At its heart, it's an app that's designed to help you save and invest. Perhaps its best known feature, and the one most people talk about, is the Roundup feature. Now, how it works is pretty straightforward. You need to be at least 18 and you link your bank accounts and even credit cards to the app. You'll need a smartphone, and to sign up you'll need to provide your name, email, password, phone number and date of birth before then verifying your email. Then whenever you spend, say you buy a morning coffee for £2.50, Moneybox sees that transaction and rounds it up to the nearest pound. So in this case that's £3, and that makes a 50p difference that will be saved. Now, there is an option to boost this if you want, so you can choose to double the roundups using the super roundup feature, and that turns that 50p saving into £1 saved. But how it actually works, it's read only and looks at your credit cards and current accounts, and then each week it takes the amount it's calculated that you saved, and it takes that from the designated linked account that you have, so that it all comes from one account at one time. So it's not coming from the individual accounts, and it's not coming at the time that you actually make the purchase. So when you are accumulating your spare change or perhaps depositing regular amounts into the app, what are your options? Well, first up, you've got saving options, which is what I've used it for in the past. And you've got tax efficient wrappers like a cash ISA and a cash lifetime ISA. And remember that the lifetime ISA, you get a 25% government bonus up to £1,000 a year if you're saving for your first home or potentially for retirement after age 60. In terms of its cash ISA, Moneybox provides two distinct cash ISA accounts to cater to different savings needs. So the primary difference lies in the withdrawal flexibility. So the standard cash ISA typically offers the highest interest rate but restricts the number of withdrawals you can make within a 12-month period. So it's often up to 3 without impacting the rate of interest that you earn. So in contrast, the open access cash ISA allows unlimited withdrawals without affecting your interest rate. So it offers greater flexibility, although the headline interest rate might be slightly lower than that of the standard cash ISA, and it's typically between 0.5% and 0.75% lower. Both accounts require a minimum balance of £500. There's also a simple saver account and a 32 and 95 day notice accounts. Its notice accounts generally offer better interest rates than the easy access account. So for example, at the time that I'm making this video, the 95-day notice account is offering 4.55% AER compared to 3.15% variable from the simple saver. But as the name suggests, you have to give a 95-day notice period before you can withdraw your money. Now, that's the trade-off for the higher rate of interest. So it's generally not suitable for things like an emergency fund. When it comes to investing, you have various tax wrapper options. You've got a stocks and shares ISA, an investment lifetime ISA, a general investment account, which is often called a GIA, and a personal pension. And there's even a junior ISA if you want to invest for a child. Now, when it comes to investing your money, Moneybox keeps things relatively straightforward. For those who prefer some guidance, it offers 3 core ready-made portfolios based on your risk appetite. So there's cautious, balanced and adventurous. This simplified choice is especially good for beginners who might find hundreds of funds overwhelming. Now, for those who want to pick their own investments, you can build your own portfolio by picking from a range of approximately 36 individual tracker funds and ETFs, as well as around 20 individual US stocks. That gives you a flexibility to tilt your portfolio towards areas you believe in or want more exposure to. But remember that this approach requires more active decision making, and you should do your research to make sure you understand what these funds invest in, their costs, and the specific risks involved. As I've mentioned, Moneybox does allow you to invest in individual shares like Apple, Amazon, and Tesla. Now, the specifics of how that works, the exact range of US stocks available, things like the trading frequency, and crucially, the fees involved. So things like FX fees that are charged when you're buying US shares. That's the kind of detail that needs careful checking, and you can find that in our in-depth review on the Money to the Masses website, and I've included a link to that in the description below. Now, allowing its customers to invest in shares moves Moneybox further into the territory of apps like Free Trade, AJ Bell, Dodl, and Trading 212, and it offers the potential obviously for higher returns, but also significantly higher risk compared to investing in diversified funds. Now, in terms of fees, it won't cost you anything to save using Moneybox. So if you use the Roundup feature, for example, and save money into a savings account, which is what I've done when using the product, then it doesn't cost you anything, which I really like. However, if you are intending to use the investment product, say a stocks and shares ISA, for example, there are typically 3 layers of charges to be aware of. So if you are looking at an investment product, there is the £1 monthly subscription fee for investing in the stocks and shares ISA, lifetime ISA, general investment account, or junior ISA. It's worth pointing out there is no subscription fee for the pension. Now, this fee is often waived for the first 3 months to get you started, but after that, it does then kick in. Secondly, there's a platform fee. So this is charged as a percentage of the value of your investments held with Moneybox, and that's currently 0.45% a year. And then there's the underlying charges of the individual investments that you're buying. So if you're buying an ETF, for example. Now, when you add these all up, particularly the fixed £1 monthly subscription fee plus the 0.45 platform fee, it can make Moneybox relatively expensive compared to some of the other platforms out there, particularly those when you're investing small amounts of money. So that combination of fixed monthly fee and a percentage platform fee means you really need to work out if Moneybox is cost effective for you. For very small pots, that £1 a month, so £12 a year fee, can represent quite a high percentage charge eating into your returns. Additionally, for much larger amounts, platforms with fixed fees like Interactive Investor or those with tiered percentage fees like Hargreaves Lansdown might be more competitive. So those particularly keen to invest via an app or those with relatively small amounts of money to invest should look at AJ Bell Dodl as well. It's a very similar investment offering to Moneybox, but it is much lower cost. Crucially, it doesn't charge a fixed monthly subscription fee like Moneybox does, and its platform fee is just 0.15% per year compared to Moneybox's 0.45%. I must point out that AJ Bell Dodl does have a minimum monthly fee, so if your platform charges are less than £1 a month, then you will be charged £1 a month per product. So that's something to bear in mind, but for most people it will still be cheaper than using Moneybox. So do go and have a look at the review that we've done on that in the description below this video, and you can find that full review and look at that comparison between AJ Bell Dodl and Moneybox. So in summary, Moneybox is very much an app first service. You manage everything, setting up accounts, tracking roundups, checking performance, making deposits, all through your smartphone. It's a good option for someone who wants everything managed in one place, perhaps starting with savings to build confidence before considering dipping into investments later on. Another key thing to bear in mind is about relying solely on roundups. While they're a great way to get started, if you just use roundups to try and build wealth, it will take you a very long time to do so. And also those charges that Moneybox applies each month will eat into that money. So you could theoretically use another service in which to use roundups. Could be an app only bank like Starling, and then move that money periodically into something like AJ Bell Dodl, for example, to start investing more cost effectively for relatively small amounts of money. Now, if you are somebody with large pots of money, then you might want to look at other platforms like Interactive Investor that have a fixed fee charging structure. Now, what I've covered in this video is just a snapshot of what you can get from Moneybox, as details will change and providers update their offers, fees get adjusted and new features are added and old ones are removed, which is why you need to click on the links in the notes of this video to see the most up-to-date reviews of Moneybox and the other platforms that I've mentioned on the Money to the Masses website. And also on the Money to the Masses website, you will find comparisons with key alternatives like AJ Bell Dodl, which I've mentioned, but also Nutmeg and Money Farm. So again, there's links in the description of this video. If you found that useful, do hit that like button, but also subscribe to the channel.